Here are 7 things to know to start your day. Number 1, former Mayor Pete Buttigieg has suspended his campaign for president. Buttigieg is back in Indiana this morning instead of heading for Texas for more campaign stops. The former mayor of South Bend won the Iowa caucuses and placed second in New Hampshire, but he struggled in Nevada and got trounced in South Carolina. Those are more diverse states, and some say those finishes indicate Buttigieg can't get the minority votes needed to secure the Democratic nomination for president. Number 2, a second person in the U.S. has now died from coronavirus, and the confirmed cases total is now at 89. Both deaths are in King County, Washington, just outside of Seattle. Those patients caught coronavirus from person-to-person spread. Meanwhile, Illinois has announced a new case over the weekend, marking the state's 3rd confirmed case total. New York announced its first case, while the states of Florida, Oregon, and Rhode Island all reported 2 new cases each over the weekend. CDC officials say out of the total 89, the U.S. has 4 cases of undetermined community spread. Number 3, President Donald Trump has announced new screening procedures for coronavirus. In a tweet Sunday, he said that in addition to screening travelers prior to boarding from certain designated high-risk countries, they will also be screened when they arrive in the U.S. Meanwhile, Vice President Mike Pence, more than 15,000 testing kits are out, and that the FDA passed a testing regimen that state and local officials can now use. Number 4, the Vatican is getting ready to release its secret archives. Pope Francis says they include documents from the World War II era during the leadership of Pope Pius XII. These materials are from 1939 to 1958 and include hundreds of thousands of letters, speeches, and cables. Critics of Pius say he should have been more vocally critical of fascism in Italy and Germany. Those who back Pope Pius say he did a lot of stuff behind the scenes to save Jews during the Holocaust. Number 5, Russian President Vladimir Putin says his country has developed unique offensive weapons without the intention of starting a war with anyone, but to maintain what he calls strategic balance and strategic stability in the new world. A new interview follows protests in Moscow over the weekend, voicing criticism of Putin's controversial proposals to change that country's constitution, which could allow him to stay in power indefinitely. Thousands rallied in Moscow over the weekend in memory of a Russian opposition leader who was shot near the Kremlin walls 5 years ago, as many have expressed concern that the real mastermind behind the killing has not been brought to justice. And number 6, Israelis vote again in an effort to break the nation's political deadlock. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is seeking re-election in the country's 3rd ballot in less than a year. So far, neither Netanyahu nor his centrist challenger Benny Gantz have enough votes for a governing majority.
And number 7 on this Monday morning, as you head out the door, temperatures are into the mid to upper 30s across the tri-states, but we're gearing up for a pretty nice week ahead.